Bon dia.
We are on our way to get
Matcha latte.
matcha latte.
Together. Together forever.
To pôjde do našho oného. Cute.
Neviem, taký pečný ozvaj.
Videot.
Hej.
Od srňa hryzinky, no. Srdiečko. Coffee. Hot milk. A matcha.
Mám tam pekné nechty. Nie, ešte. Ukáž sa meno. Maria.
My sa lebalila, jo.
Tam vyzeš.
Kávia, známka moja.
No ne, bez chuti to je. Ten melek by za tým mlák.
We have been receiving many questions about the weather on the Azores, such as how is the weather in April and May and so on, and that maybe you would like to move here but you are a bit skeptical because of the weather. The weather in April was terrible, a lot of rain, we had a very few good sunny days. Most days looked like they do in the video, all the clips were filmed in April. It's not very cold, temperatures are usually around 17 degrees Celsius, but rain makes it feel colder. On the other hand, sunny days can feel quite warm, around 22 to 23 degrees Celsius. It was also often windy and humid. Still, you can feel spring is approaching since even the nights aren't that cold anymore. The coldest months are January and February. The weather in the Azores is unpredictable year-round, but especially in winter. Even in January, it can rain heavily in the morning and then turn into a beautiful sunny beach day in the afternoon. In April, the weather is still quite changeable, while summer tends to be more stable. So we are still in spring, the season when you can experience a bit of everything in one day: sun, rain, clouds and wind. Weather forecasts usually don't work well here because it can be sunny on one side of the island and raining on the other. I usually use an app called Windy. I found it to be the most reliable so far. In the second half of April, it was almost constantly raining, but we managed to get one good Saturday, so we went to the west of the island with my sister to Sete Cidades. It usually takes around 25 minutes to drive from Ponta Delgada to Sete Cidades, but that depends on which road you take and how many viewpoints you stop at. If you take the route we did, you first pass through a couple of villages, but then the landscape begins to change. You will come across farmlands and start climbing towards the edge of the caldera. By the way, São Miguel is known as the Green Island, but what you see now is a good example of how the island looks like beneath all that vegetation. It is a volcanic island. You will pass by several viewpoints along the way, but if you saw the last video, the one with the viewpoint where you can see both sides of the island when the weather is good, there is something similar on the road up to Sete Cidades. If it's not cloudy and the sky is clear, you will be able to see both the north and the south shore. It's very peaceful. Everything you can see from the viewpoint is explained on an information board. If there are no clouds, you can even spot the highest peak on the island. Otherwise, the view is still impressive. On the left is the north shore and on the right is the south shore. Here and there you can catch a glimpse of the lake, that's the blue part, and soon we will head down into the valley. It's also azalea season, so the roads are especially beautiful with many stretches lined by pink flowers. On the way down there are several small viewpoints where you can stop. From both sides of the road you get different perspectives. On one side you can see the twin lakes, on the right is the blue lake, then there is a narrow bridge, and to the left of it it's the green lake. In reality it's all one lake, even though it looks like two separate ones. That is the bridge, and it is one of the two main access roads to the village. There are several lakes in Sete Cidades, and on the other side of the road there is another lake. It's not possible to access it directly, but there is a viewpoint where you can take amazing photos. If the sun is out and shining on the lake, the contrast is incredible. If you zoom in and look up towards the edge of the caldera, that's where you will find one of the most famous viewpoints on the island, the King's View. That's also where the old hotel is located. The viewpoint where we just stopped, from which you could see the Twin Lakes on one side and the Santiago Lake on the other, is roughly halfway down between the edge of the caldera and the village. We are heading down closer to the lakes because we are going to walk around the Green Lake. There is a trail you can follow and I have never done it before. Jak sa ti lesknú vlasy, jak takej Barbie bábike. Alright, we have parked and we are going to try the walk around the lake. It seems easy and well laid out. You can start from either side of the bridge and just keep walking straight. The trail is circular. After a while, the path takes you into the forest. It goes a bit up and down, and in some sections it's not very accessible. You will need to climb over a rock. There is a rope to help. You will also cross a very basic makeshift bridge, and in some areas there is mud, quite a lot of mud. I was expecting it to be more of a simple walk rather than a hike, so I'd recommend coming in sports clothes, not jeans. And yes, there are also fallen trees along the way, but overall it's really nice. The hike around the Green Lake takes about an hour and 45 minutes of continuous walking, depending on your pace. It's also pretty cool when you realize that you are literally inside a caldera. This is a great example, and you can clearly see the regular circular shape of an ancient volcano, essentially the rim of a caldera. And maybe you recognized it. Yes, we are walking on that bridge between the Blue Lake and the Green Lake, one of the main access roads to the village. Sete Cidades is one of the most iconic landscapes in the Azores, and it really does feel like stepping into a fairy tale. You are standing inside a massive volcanic caldera formed thousands of years ago after a dramatic collapse of a volcano. Over time, nature has completely taken over. Although the Green Lake and the Blue Lake sit side by side, they are actually connected. They appear different in color because of the depth, the algae, and how the sunlight reflects off each one. Life here feels peaceful and isolated, as if the outside world disappears beyond the rim of the crater. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if there is anything you are curious about on the island, or there is a topic you would like us to cover, let us know. Otherwise, let us know how you are doing. We would love to hear from you, and we wish you an amazing rest of the week and see you soon.